When you think about the historic buildings in Giles County, you think about the courthouse, our beautiful courthouse, and you come up Highway 31, which used to be the Beeline Highway, and you think about the clubhouse at Milky Way Farms. That means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. There's many stories about Milky Way Farms as is people that tell them in our county, but it's a really important part of our history in this local area. Frank and Ethel Mars were entrepreneurs, and they were risk takers, and they were very, very efficient in what they did. I'm sure that some of you know some of the history about Franklin C. Mars and the fact that he wasn't successful in the first business venture that he tried. They started out in Seattle, Washington, and then moved across the United States with their candy manufacturing business and ended up in Chicago, Illinois because of the freight lines that came in there, the rail lines that came in there, and the ability to be able to get raw products in there so easily. Well, they made a lot of money, and they were very famous with Milky Ways and Snickers and Forever Yours and those types of candy bars. They had a friend in Chicago by the name of Eric Schuler whose wife was from Giles County, actually from Pulaski. And they came here on a visit in 1929 with Eric Schuler and his wife, and saw this beautiful area of the country and thought that this would be a really nice place to have a plantation-like show place. And Eric Schuler and his wife had an estate here in Giles County called Douglas Manor. And Mr. Mars, I think, really believed that he was going to show Mr. Schuler how to really make a show place. In 1930, he decided that he was going to buy land in Giles County and to build Milky Way Farms. That came to a culmination at the end of 1931, and of course this was in the height of the Depression. Many people in Giles County didn't have work, they didn't have anything to do, they didn't know where their next meal was going to come from. They were losing their property, and Mr. Mars really helped out this community. There were people out here that worked for 50 cents a day and were very, very glad to get that. There were businesses in town who I've heard as old people talk that they would have gone out of business had it not been for Milky Way Farms. Well, when they decided to make Milky Way Farms, a lot of people are under the misconception that Milky Way was the sole and total idea of Frank Mars. But Frank's wife, Ethel, was very, very instrumental in the building of this farm and the way it looks and what it does. And it was patterned after a place in Chazy, New York called Heart's Delight Farm. Heart's Delight Farm was an 11,000-acre estate. And if you look at the catalog of Heart's Delight Farm, and compare it to what was done out here, you can see how it was patterned after Heart's Delight Farm. Mr. and Ms. Mars had started out with shorthorn cattle and gaited horses rather than what people really remember this farm for, which was horned Hereford cattle and thoroughbred horses.